Venus retrograde is an opportunity to see and feel things differently. Take advantage of that. There's no specific way in which this plays out. It's just an opportunity to look at things from another angle, to feel them in a different way. There is no negative or positive connotation to a retrograde. It is simply another opportunity to look at things. Venus has two specific sides, one of them being the more Taurian side and the other the Libran side. The Taurian side is more common during the forward movement, where we are just experiencing, feeling things, having them roll through our body. And the Libran side is more likely to come out during the retrograde, when we see the other side of thinking about how we're feeling in some way, of considering what has happened and how maybe it could have affected us, impacted us, how we might do it differently. We're reviewing. So as that comes out, remember that what someone else experiences kind of has nothing to do with you, and what you experience is all about you. And in fact, you are not what you think you are. You are not what others think you are. You are what you think others think you are. Basically, what we accept from our environment as projection is what we become, because we are always asking for feedback from our environment, because in fact our immediate environment is us. It is our internal state of being. We may forget that because we are defined as ourselves. We defined ourselves within ourselves, but we are kind of what we think we are according to referencing ourselves. And sometimes we say that's God, that's government, that's friends, that's family. But really all we're doing is saying that piece of me that I see in another person, that is what is telling me what I am and who I am. But all in all, you aren't anything specific. You are simply existing consciousness, exploring itself. So any defined parameters will only limit or structure and restrict your expression, and may allow you to explore more fully some small facet of reality, but in the end will only be a restriction of what you are, which is everything. But if you're everything in a world that requires you to be something, it can feel limiting to be everything. It can feel restrictive to be everything, to be free of decisions and labels and tags can make you look like a cuckoo person in this world. But you know what? The crazy thing that we do is we define so much. We look at the color of skin, we look at the sexual orientation, we look at the party affiliation, we look at the medical choices. Like, this is insanity. It's not insanity to not care about any of that stuff. It's reality. Things are a lot more variable than they seem. The defined is an attempt to control and constrict. It is Saturn energy. It is to take the endless, boundless opportunity and options within our reality and to limit them in some way. To say, I am great, is to say, maybe I am less likely to have flaws. To say, I am flawed, is to say, maybe I don't have to take on such a pressure as to be great. You can be any of this at any time, in any moment, and it is very likely that even in the finest of your abilities, you also fail. And it is also very likely that in your greatest of failings, you are also a champion. Venus retrograde is an opportunity to see things differently. That is it. That is all. Don't overthink it. Don't believe the hype. It is highly misunderstood. This is a rather new science and education that we are bringing back into consciousness. Astrology is. Don't define yourself. Use the opportunities in the landscapes to explore the possibility of being alive, of what you are capable of, because sometimes that's a lot, and in some areas it's not that much, and that's okay. We're here to do certain things, but what it is we're here to do is for us to figure out and us to define, and perhaps the natal chart can give you some inclination of what that might be, but it will never tell you specifically. No tarot card will ever tell you. No rune will ever tell you, but there may be hints. And if that's the way that you find yourself, then go for it. You flip those cards. You look at that chart. You look at that progress chart. You do what you need to. You talk to that psychic with the crystal ball. You talk to the palm reader. You do what you need to do. But in the end, Those are but hints towards the knowing that lives within you in waiting at all times. And as Venus turns and goes stationary, it's an opportunity to see that shit pretty clearly. So I do hope you enjoy and you have a beautiful evening and day, wherever time it is, wherever you are.